Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Wyoming Knits YouTube channel. This is my channel where I like to talk about all things knitting related and all of the things that I have been working on over the last week. It is Sunday, August 18th, and this is episode 54. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. And today I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie, Dax. I don't have any mail this week. I have one finished object and some works in progress that I would like to visit with you about. But let's start with what I am wearing. So I'm wearing my Rocket Tee that I finished a couple weeks ago. This has a fingering weight yarn held with and a stripe of mohair, and it's got this lace detail on the shoulders. It's a V-neck. Today I chose to wear it with a black shirt underneath. Last time I wore it with a white one. So this is the Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. I'll have all the information for it linked in the description box below. Everything that I talk about today that has a link will be linked below. I will link to the project pages and the shops where I have purchased the items. So let's talk about finished objects. My first finished object is a pair of socks. I was working on these socks last time. I was about halfway finished with the foot last time. And I finished the foot, the toe, and cast on the second one and finished all of this week. So I have both of those finished, and that is the only thing I finished this week. I put a lot of progress in on some other things. This is my Yarn Dragon fibers. And it is the Limelight Deluxe sock set in Kaleidoscope and Limealicious. So these are finished. I am so excited. I love this color. I'm excited to have them done. These ones have been on the needles since June 17th, and I finished them August 16th. So almost 2 months for me to finish these socks. They just weren't something I was reaching for all the time. But I absolutely love these colors. So that was my only finished object this time. And so now let's chat about some half-finished objects and my works in progress. So the first half-finished object I have is my August Felici socks. I'm doing these in the String of Lights pattern. I cast on 64 stitches and did a 2x2 ribbed cuff for 20 rounds, and then I started in on the pattern. I did a slip stitch heel flap, and I was right here last time. It looks like I was almost in the same spot on both of these. And so I finished off the toe and started the next one. These have been in a bag that I got from Fancy Boy Designs. And I'm using Knit Picks Felici in the Lassie color. This was from the summer of 2022. And I've got the cuff done, and I've started in on the pattern. So I worked on this just a little bit after I finished the first sock, and then I worked on another pair of socks from Yarnable. This one is, I have the first one done. This one is a vanilla sock on 9-inch circulars. I needed to put the heel in last time I showed these. I don't know if I showed them last week or the week before, but they just needed the heel. So this week I decided, let's just get the heel in. So I did the heel and then finished the rest of the sock all in one day. So I did 64 stitches, 2x2 cuff for 20 rounds, and then I did a vanilla sock. I want to say I did 70 rounds for the leg. And let me show you how far I've got on the second sock. I am almost through the leg on the second sock. I'm doing these on my 9-inch circulars, and so I have just a little bit further. When I did the toes on these ones, these last 3 socks, I used my Addy Flexi Flips. These are the 2.25, and it's a set of 3, and so you kind of use it like magic loop and DPNs. So you'd have one on the front, one on the back, and then you use this like a DPN, but it flexes in the middle, so it's not just like a straight, makes it easier. So I've been using these for the toe. I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. So I've used these for the toe on the last 3. Usually I do magic loop, but I decided to try the Flexi Flips the last couple of days. So 2 half finished socks. And then I did cast on, right after I got done recording last Sunday, I caked up my Yarnable, my August Yarnable. Let's see, is that going to focus? Oh, upside down. Right? No, this is the right way. Let's see if it'll focus. This is the Neon Graffiti. This is the August 2024 color. And I am almost ready for the heel. So I've got my stitch markers in, and I do one one plain, or the same color, these ones are green this time, the same color all the way down to the heel, and then I use a different color to mark the heel. So I'm ready to put in the heel on this one. That must have been why I stopped. So all that's left is to get the heel in on this one. I started with 64 stitches. I did a 2x2 cuff for 24 rounds, and then I did straight vanilla, just knit, stockinette all the way. I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 rounds for the leg. I put these markers in every 10, and then when I get to the next sock, I move them over so I can have the exact same amount of rounds for each sock. So it usually feels like the second sock goes so much faster because I can just move the markers over. The first one I'm like, oh, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? And then the second sock, I'm like, okay, I only have this much longer, and then I'm done. So the second sock seems to go a little bit faster. My watermelon socks, this is the Sweet Liberty color from July Yarnable, the July 2023, so last July were the watermelon socks, and this is in a bag from Mountain State Stitches. My new Yarnable is in my Scooby-Doo bag that I got from Molly Klein Designs. This came with a sock set that I still haven't used. It's right here. Hopefully I'll use that pretty soon. But those are the socks that I've worked on in the last week. I've worked on some sweaters. I think I've worked on 4 sweaters. Let's look at my notes. 1, 2, yep, 4 sweaters. One of them is a cardigan. So we'll start with the one that I've been working on the longest. This is in a Sassy Sacks. This is the Brooklyn Raglan by Tori Yu, and I'm using Dragon Hoard yarn. And this is the Bone Carver color. Focus. And last time I was working on the body. I have finished the body. I was right here last time. My stitch marker kind of blends in. So I was right here, and I did the rest of the body. This has a high-low hem? No. A curved hem. So you do short rows to shape this. So it comes up on the sides. So I have all of this, and then I've started working on the sleeve. So let's see. You can kind of see the texture on this. See how it's just slightly different than the body. So I'm excited to have this finished. Oh, now I'm tangled. So So I'll be working on this. I've got my twice shared sheep row counter on here to help me with decreases. And then I have stitch markers. And so I have to do this many decreases. And then I put in, every time I do a decrease, I take one from here and put it on the decrease. I think I have a few more rows before I do the next decrease. And then both sleeves, and I am finished. I like the construction. The instructions are really easy to follow on this one. I didn't have any problems working the sleeve in pattern. The short rows on the hem were easy to follow. So this is a good pattern if you want to make a sweater. There's only the texture on the sleeves, so I think that's a little bit easier than following the texture throughout the whole body. So yeah, I really like this one. And then I worked on my daughter's t-shirt that she asked me to make for her. This is another pattern by Tori Yu. This is the Uptown Tee, and I'm using Tippy Tree yarns. Are we gonna focus today? There we go. And this is the Star-Crossed Lovers. This is her MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon. 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's going to be super soft for her. And I'm still working on the increases, but I'm at a part where sometimes you increase on the sleeve and sometimes you don't. And so this texture has some yarn overs and knit two together. And I don't know if I got confused or if I missed a yarn over somewhere. But when I went to do my knit two togethers, it didn't look like the last row. So I'm gonna have to go back and re-look at that. I might have to rip back just a little bit. I was right here last time. So I did a little bit, and then I got confused on the sleeves and put it down and haven't picked it back up. But the sleeves, the way you do the yarn over and knit two together on one side is different than the other side. I don't know if you can see, but these slant forward and these slant forward also. So you do those a little bit different on both sides. So I'll have to go back and look at the pattern. I might have to, because I've only done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds, I could easily rip back and get back on track. I would just tink back those 4 rounds. I wouldn't actually take my needles out. I just tink back just those 4 rows. So I'm stalled out on that one for just a little bit. I might have to wait till next weekend. I don't know. We'll see what my brain space looks like this week. I go back for, this is my first week back. Starting tomorrow is the teacher's first week back. We don't get students for one more week. And so we'll see how much brain space I used throughout the day, and if I want plain vanilla or if I'm ready to tackle a project that I have to think about. So that is living in my Red's Lady Creates bag. Then I worked on my campsite waffle cardigan. Last time I was working on the back panel, and I was right here on the back panel, and I finished the whole back panel. So I think you do some decreases all the way back. So I think this is the shoulder, there's the arms, something like that. Oh, I'm holding it upside down, sideways. Okay. This is the bottom, and this is the top. Okay. So this is the neck, and then the decreases, and then the other decreases. So I was right here last time. I did a few more repeats before I got to the top. Then you bind off. Then you make your pocket linings and put those on holders. I just had some of these that my mom had got me for Christmas one year. She was like, I don't know what yarn to buy you, but I can buy you some notions. So I made 2 pocket liners, and then you cast on for the right panel and add your pocket. So this is where I'm at so far. So this is the bottom ribbing, and then you go into the pattern, you put in some ribbing for the pocket, bind off the pocket, and then you add you put this on, and then you pick up these stitches as you work across, and it makes the little pocket hole. And then you just go back and sew this down. I think, well, it has to be sewn down, but at the end. So I have the right panel going. So this will be on the right side. So I have the left, finish the right panel, the left panel, and then 2 sleeves, and then I think you seam everything together. So got that going. Because that's on, I want to say a size 10 needle, it works up pretty fast, and the pattern is easy to follow. I love the yarn for it. I'm using the Big Twist from Joann's, and this is the, where is the color? Black Sesame Sprinkles color. And I had to get 8 skeins of this. I had 6, and then my daughter was out of town and there was a Joann's nearby, and so she picked up 2 more skeins for me. Then the last thing I worked on, this is in a, which one is this one? I want to say this one is Lila Styles. It'll be linked below with the shop. I wound up my yarn I got at Hobby Lobby, the flamenco color, and I cast on the Ripple Crop by Jessie Maed, and I have made it this far. So this is worked bottom up. You do a 3x3 rib for I think 8 inches if you want cropped, and then it gives you directions for if you want it a little bit longer, how long to go. So I'm working on that one. Maybe it doesn't matter if it's the inside or outside because it's exactly the same, but I think that was inside out. Maybe. Yeah. It goes this way. I don't know if it was inside out, but it's just this nice, lightly speckled light with some pink. There's probably a cat outside. The dog is barking. Focus. So I have 2 skeins of this one, and this is just an easy, repetitive, and so I'll work on this one. I do want to get my daughter's done before this one. The size I'm making, both of us could fit into this. We're about the same size. She is just 2 inches smaller around than I am. So most of the time what I make for me, unless it's got a ton of positive ease, will fit her also. She's kind of branching out where she'll ask me, will you make me? And I'll tell her, yes, I will make that for you. I've made her some socks in the past. She likes shorty socks, and so I did some where I just did the ribbing right here and went into the heel, and she wore them a couple of times and she says, Mom, they're too hot. Don't make me any more socks. So I said, okay, I don't need to make you any more socks if you don't want socks, if they're too hot for your feet. So, but she does love when I make her stuff. She has at least 2 blankets that I've made for her. One sweater that I made for her a couple years ago. I did the Winter League pullover by 2 of Wands, and she wears that to school sometimes, so she's not afraid to wear her mom's hand knit things. So I'm excited to get that other sweater for her finished. Usually this is where I would show what mail I got, but I have not got any mail. I haven't got any yarn in the mail this week. I don't think I've ordered any yarn. The next thing I should be getting is my Yarnable and my row ones for September. So those won't be in for a couple more weeks. So that is everything for today. Make sure to hit the like button. If you have not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. I am only about 30 subscribers away from 1,000. A little less than 30. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, happy knitting.